Hi, everyone. Vanessa here. Welcome back to the podcast. So my guest today is Stephionne Morris, and she is a transaction coordinator, and she's part of the BU coaching group. And I wanted to talk to her because coaching for real estate administrators is becoming more and more of a hot topic. And it's something that I see the benefit of day in and day out with the candidates that I place, with the candidates I work with. So I just wanted to grab Stephionne and hear firsthand why she joined a coaching program. What does she do in that coaching program? What has she gotten out of it? What are the benefits? The BU coaching program is run by two people who I absolutely adore, Margaret Smith and Kathleen Metcalf. And this is a year-long personal development coaching program. And it's fantastic. I've never heard anybody say anything but good things about it. They are opening their doors for their new round of members. So they're starting a new cycle, and the doors open to register February 21st to February 27th. This is 2022. So if this sounds like something you would be interested in or something you would like to have your admin participate in, I will include the details for learning more about the program in the show notes. So check that out. Okay, enough chit chat. Let's get into the interview. Hey, Stefionne, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, Vanessa?
I'm awesome. I'm so glad that you were willing to come on to the podcast and talk about your experience in real estate, as a transaction coordinator and assistant, and then specifically about your experience deciding to invest in coaching for yourself and how that has impacted your life and your career. So we're going to cover all sorts of good stuff today. So thanks again for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Cool. All right. So you have a master's degree in public health and you taught K through 12, and then you got into real estate. So how did you end up in real estate of all industries?
Oh, it was a long road to real estate. All growing up, I just knew that I wanted to be a doctor. So once I graduated high school, I went to school and majored in chemistry pre-med. And then after graduating, I went to grad school and got my public health degree. So I did actually work in public health for about, I would say maybe 5 years. And just realized I never liked the office setting. Like I never liked being confined to a desk from 9 to 5. So I kind of started being on the search for a career where I felt more freedom and really enjoyed what I did and enjoyed the environment that I was working in. So then I gave teaching a shot. I taught 8th grade math for 6 months. It was a quick 6 months. And I just realized that wasn't for me. I didn't really enjoy it. So after leaving that job, I just kept thinking deeper and deeper into what can I do that's going to make me feel like I have freedom and that I'm truly going to enjoy doing. So I gave real estate a thought. I was like, maybe I'll enjoy selling real estate. So I ended up seeing a job announcement for a real estate agent with Keller Williams in Shreveport. She was looking for an executive assistant. Knew nothing about real estate, but I just felt like, well, this could be an opportunity for me to get my foot in the door and start learning about it and to see if I even like it. So I applied for the position and she offered me the job, and that was 2017. So 2017, I started working as the executive assistant for the Marian Home Group with the Keller Williams Shreveport Market Center. And I started to realize that, when you become an executive assistant, you kind of do a little bit of everything. But what I enjoyed the most was transaction coordinating. And so in 2019, I decided that I would offer my transaction coordinating services to other agents in the office to generate some extra income. Mm-hmm. And then my business just started to grow from there. I started to get more agents reaching out to me for my service, and here I am now.
So what did your boss think about you offering your TC services? How did that work with your job with them?
Oh yeah, she was very supportive. And actually it was partly her idea that I do that. And she was very supportive. And I was able to continue to manage my work as the executive assistant and manage the files that I was managing with the transaction coordinating for other agents. So
Perfect.
it never created an issue with my job with her.
You know what I find interesting? Lots of people, most agents are afraid to hire an assistant who says that they want to go out and sell in a few years. You know, the person who wants to become an assistant to go sell. And you're such a good example of somebody who thought you wanted to sell real estate and then realized that there was a better path for you. So was your team concerned at all when they first hired you about you wanting to go out and sell, or did they know that that was a long-term goal of yours?
No, she was very supportive. And when I started with her, she was just one agent. She was an individual agent. I think maybe a year after I started is when we started the team. But from the beginning, she was very supportive of whatever I wanted to do, whatever goals I had. She's always been extremely supportive. So if I did decide to get my license and sell real estate, she was completely open to that. And then once I decided that, hey, I really like transaction coordinating and I think that's all I really want to do, she was completely supportive and okay with it also. So
Really
I got
cool.
lucky there.
Yeah, you did. You really did.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you and you're still working for her as well, and now you have many more clients, right? So 15 to 20, I think you told me. So how do you balance all of that? How do you make that many people happy?
You know, it's not like magic. I honestly don't know what to say other than I've worked really hard on my time management for one. I'm not as good at time blocking yet as I would like to be, but that's something that I've been working on over the past year. So just managing my time, and really being open and honest with all of the agents. One thing that I've started doing was because there was a time when I was working just all day, because there's always so much to do, whether you have 10 files or whether you have 50. With real estate, it's just there's always something to do. And then you lay down at night and you're like, oh, did I remember to do that or did I forget? You pick up your phone and you say, look, did I send this email? So I learned how to cut it off at a certain point. If I said my workday was going to end at 5 o'clock and then I'm not answering emails or answering calls after 5 o'clock and not before 9 a.m. the next morning, then I stuck to that. And it helped me to feel better about the workday because I knew I had a start and a beginning. And actually I started getting more done after I put those boundaries in place, which was very surprising. But I was able to get more done because I was able to schedule out my day. I knew if I was responding to emails during this hour and then the next hour I might be making calls and just following up with people. I knew I had that plan in place and my day goes easier.
It's interesting, right? How you can fill all the time that is available to you. So if you don't have boundaries, then you can fill all your time. But then if you put boundaries, you can find a way to get it all done within those boundaries. It's fascinating how that works.
That's true.
Right? Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah.
So you're part of the BU coaching group, and I am not part of the group, and I love Kathleen Metcalf and Margaret Smith. And so I wanted to highlight them, but also just talk about coaching in general from an admin's perspective. But I don't want this to sound like an infomercial. And I realize that I'm like so excited about their program that I'm about to make it sound like I'm pitching the program. I'm not.
Hey, I
highly recommend it, but this is not an infomercial. Okay. So anyway, so can you just explain what BU the Inner Circle is, first of all?
So BU, the inner circle, I guess in short, it's like a personal development slash coaching group for real estate admin. Um, we meet twice a month. We meet on the second and third Fridays of every month. And then also we have different stages that we go through. In each stage, we're all reading a book. And then once we complete that book, we may have about 2 months to read the book or so. And then we'll have a meeting to specifically discuss that book and the things that were covered in the book. We have different speakers that come in. And then we also have accountability groups that we can meet with outside of our Friday meetings. So it's like a self-development coaching accountability group. It's awesome. I love it.
And so what are some of the topics that you cover? So there's like, I know there are different themes. So can you give me some examples of what those are?
So when we first started, one of the things that we did was kind of looked back and kind of dissected kind of how we were brought up as kids, the thoughts and beliefs that were instilled in us as we were growing up, and that we still subconsciously have as adults and kind of don't realize it. So it kind of made us look at our thought patterns and maybe why we think that way, and how the way that we think causes us to behave certain ways. So it was really awesome to start out that way. And then one topic that we cover a lot is self-care. And that was like one of the biggest parts for me, because me personally, I came in very open and honest that I'd fallen off with my self-care. I became a mom for the first time, and it was 2018, and then the pandemic hit. So it was like right when I started to kind of get back to myself and feel like myself and want to do things for me again, the pandemic hit and we were confined to our homes. So self-care was something that had fallen off for me a lot. And so we discussed self-care a lot in the group. What is something else that we discussed? There's so much.
I know there's a lot about self-esteem, so like I am enough. Is that spoken?
Yes, self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, self-esteem, and kind of building up the courage to do things that maybe you've always wanted to do, but like that feeling of, oh, is this enough? Or waiting until like it's the perfect time. Or like a lot of admins, if you're an admin for a team, whether you're an executive assistant or a director of operations, having the courage to speak up if you have an idea that you think will benefit the team. Sometimes we kind of sit back and sit on our ideas because we're afraid maybe they aren't good enough, or maybe the team leader may not really be in agreement with that. But it could be something that it could be exactly what the team needed, or it could just be something that your team leader is like, okay, we can at least give that a try. Mm-hmm. So building your self-esteem and having more courage and accountability is something else that we cover a lot, or focus on a lot. Accountability, and stepping up as leaders, because even though we're admin, but there's still leadership in that, even in being admin. So those are a few of the topics that we cover.
I think it's so wonderful that the group doesn't just, you're all real estate admins, right? So it could be a coaching group that focuses on how to solve problems at work and how to organize tasks or blah, blah, blah. And I love that you guys are focusing on the core foundation, like your personal development. And then out of personal development comes your professional development, right? So right. How has going through this group and having this experience impacted you professionally?
Oh my goodness. So when we first started, I think we had our first meeting in February of 2021. And I started off the year, I had three major goals that I knew I wanted to achieve by the end of 2021. Um, I ended up achieving all three of those goals by, I think by June or July.
Wow.
And it completely blew my mind that I did that. And I knew that if I had not been in BU, I wouldn't have achieved those goals like that. And it's what you get from the meetings, like when we meet, it's comforting to be in a group of like-minded people. And then also Mo and Kathleen just make it so they create a safe environment for us to be vulnerable and speak up and express our feelings or express our needs. Because more than likely, whatever you're feeling or whatever challenge you may be experiencing, there's at least one other person in the group with the same challenge. And so if at least one person speaks up, then we can discuss that as the group, and it empowers and it ends up empowering everyone. So I think what happened was just being in a group where I had that accountability. I had a support system, and then having Kathleen and Mo as coaches, um, and they lead with so much and lead and coach with so much compassion. Mm-hmm. So it's like if we have an assignment and we don't complete it, you don't really feel bad. It's not like, oh, you didn't complete the assignment. It's just like, that's okay. You can complete it when you complete it. But it gave me it gave me confidence, and it took me from a place where I'm a procrastinator. And I think I'm a procrastinator because I try to wait until the moment when I feel like it's the perfect time. So being in the group has taken me from wanting to wait until the perfect time, which the perfect time is never gonna happen, right? To doing and being more focused on taking action.
That's so good. I was going to ask you if you had a breakthrough example, and that's a wonderful example of a fantastic breakthrough. Can you think of any others, or have like maybe somebody else in the group? You don't have to name names, of course, but have there been any other cool ahas or breakthroughs that you've been a part of?
I'm sure I know that there have actually been there were a couple of people that I think I wasn't, we have our accountability groups, and then we have the meetings, but I'm pretty sure that there are a couple of people who have, since we've been in the group, they were working with the team, but have now started their own businesses.
Wow.
There are a couple of people who have done that. So it's empowering, and you feel, it makes you feel courageous, but then it makes you, you think more. You start to think about, I know for me, one thing that I learned was, instead of being so set on the goal, like the end goal, to be more present to what's happening in between. So what happened between getting from here to getting to here, which was your end goal, but what happened during that journey? Because that's where all the good stuff is, in the journey. And that was actually a big aha moment for me, especially when I was hitting those 3 goals that I told you about. Because each time I would hit a goal, I would be really, really excited about it at first, felt really good. And then like the next day, it was just like, well, what's next?
Yeah.
What goal am I going to reach next? And I couldn't figure out, like, why do I feel this way? Like when I set this goal, I met it, I should be super excited. But I was like, you know what? It's what's happening in between. And who am I becoming in the process of meeting these goals? And once I started looking at it that way, I felt like I found, that's the gold right there.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you
That's
becoming
so
in the
good.
process, and focusing on not so much of the tangible goal, but what are the feelings that you want to have? How did you feel in the process of accomplishing this? And did you like that feeling? Do you want to have that feeling every day? And if so, what do you need to do to create that feeling for yourself on a constant basis?
I love that, especially when you pair that with self-care, because, you know, I work with a
Yeah.
lot of entrepreneurs they have big, audacious, hairy goals. But when you're only focused on reaching that goal, getting to the end goal, and you don't enjoy the process, you don't take time to take
Yeah.
care of yourself in the process, you could lose a lot of other things that are important to you at, you know, at the expense of getting to that end goal. And then you, like you said, okay, cool, I got to this point, and now what? And
Yeah.
if you've burned
Right.
bridges and you're not healthy and your
Hmm.
relationships aren't strong, it doesn't matter that you
Yeah.
know, reach the summit. So I really appreciate that approach of making sure that you're focusing on the journey,
Yeah.
not just
Yeah.
the end result. Super
Right.
cool. So super excited that that you joined me to talk about this. What is next for
Yeah.
you, or what has BU inspired you to set for future goals, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh yeah. Actually, I've started uh, my business, Your Leverage Concierge, and I've discussed with my team leader that over the next couple of months, I plan to go full time into my business. Um, and that was hard for me.
Yeah, I
That was a
bet.
hard discussion for me. That's a hard decision for me because she gave me my opportunity in this field. And also, you feel a lot of loyalty, and it's kind of hard to cut the cord. And then there's also fear attached to that. So it's almost like, hey, I've also started thinking, whatever you're afraid of, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever scares you, that's what you need to do. And so that's the plan. That's the goal for me in the next couple of months. I'll be full time in my business. Um, and also starting, BU has inspired me to start one-on-one coaching. So we have the group coaching, and I was like, hey, I think I want to give one-on-one coaching a shot.
Cool.
So I'll be starting that also. So just really excited about this year. 2021 was awesome, and I expect even more from 2022.
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited
Yeah.
for you and wishing you lots and lots of success. And I will definitely check in with you. And we'll get if you have a website yet, or we'll get your contact
Don't
information at
have a
least.
website yet. Yeah, but I can give
Yeah,
you my
for people to
email and
contact you.
Facebook and all of that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Stefani. It's so nice chatting with you.
thank you, Vanessa.
Bye.
Bye-bye.